Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. It's been a little while since my last video, but we're back and hopefully we'll be getting back into the Formula 1 game stuff soon as well. But Gran Turismo 7 has had another update, so let's check it out. The first thing we're going to do is the Sunday Cup race at the Kyoto Driving Park, which was added for this car, the Toyota CHRS from 2018. I think it's meant to be like a mini SUV kind of thing. It's front wheel drive, and yeah, it is the slowest car of this update, which is why we're starting with it. So slow in fact that this first corner of Kyoto Driving Park is completely flat out. But anyway, it's got a little meep horn, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. The only upgrade we've done on the car is tyres. Other than that, it's completely stock. Even that mid-sector chicane is very near flat out. You probably could if you had the right line going through there. But anyway, of course, we have this little tight chicane to finish off the lap. But we're making our way through the field all right so far. It's 4 laps, but that's really not too far in at this circuit. As yeah, we've already almost completed 1 lap in less than a minute. So very quick race to kick things off here. As you just saw on the interior, it's got a lot of modern cars have, which I'm not really a fan of, is like the wipers are really close together on the driver's side, which makes sense for visibility, but it just looks a bit weird. But anyway, we are absolutely flying at the moment and making good time through the field. We're going to try and sneak our way in on the right hand side there to move ourselves up into currently 4th position down the inside. Bit of contact as we're trying to make our way through, but we'll move ourselves up into the podium places now towards the end of the 2nd lap. And just while I'm thinking of it, the color of this car, by the way, is called Sensual Red Mica. So yeah, that's a thing. But anyway, yeah, we're up into P3. So we're making good progress so far as we tip it into this never-ending right-hander. This car really is not particularly fast. I mean, we're going 130 k's an hour mid-corner, but yeah, it doesn't have a lot of horsepower. It doesn't have gears either. It's just in drive. So yeah, it's a little bit strange like that. But anyway, we're setting purple sectors now on lap 3 as we send it in around the outside, see if we can make the move up into 2nd position, and we should be able to do that. Not quite actually, so not quite the drive off the corner. Very tricky with that car on the inside, sort of disturbed us there. But anyway, we're going to see if we can make the move down the inside, where we are actually running out of laps here, so we do need to make some pretty good progress on the final lap if we want to get the win here. And I think it's also worth mentioning this is a re-recording. I actually lost the original recording of the races in this one, but I did manage to save the menu book recording, which we'll get to later on. But yeah, for some reason the recording of this and the next couple of races, I managed to lose those. So bit annoying, but that's just what happens. So yeah, I had to re-record this. We get to the race lead though, around the outside of the well, what's almost the final corner, just this little chicane to go. And yeah, that is the Sunday Cup race complete, and we did that one relatively easy, as we gonna see if we can flick it across the line. And a nice little, I don't even know what you call that maneuver, but I'm sure it's got a name in the drifting world. But anyway, that's done, and yeah, we have ticked the first race off the list. There are 4 new cars in this update, and the second one that we're going to be checking out is this thing, the Honda Civic SI Extra EF from 1987. I believe that's what it's called. It's Japanese FF Challenger 450 that we're going to be racing in, and ironically we're leaving Japan and heading to Italy for this one, to Sardinia. And yeah, once again we are we've only upgraded the tires, and you can see the windscreen wipers a lot more normal looking on this car. But anyway, here we go then. And yeah, well, you can see the effect of the tyre upgrades there through turn 1. That was very quick through the apex there. So yeah, we'll probably have a relatively easy time with this one again. This race was a re-recording, so I've done this before. But anyway, let's see how we go as we send it in around the outside, a little bit off into the sand and grass there. But we get away with it. We're still trying to keep it in around the outside. I sort of ran out of space there, and I'm not particularly familiar with this layout, so we're struggling a little bit with that. But anyway, we're making our way through the field. We're already up into P4, though it is a very small field here for this one. Just 8 cars on the grid, so we're halfway through just on the first lap alone. But anyway, we bring it around the final corner now onto the main straight, and we might be lacking a little bit in a straight line, which tends to be what happens if you upgrade just the tyres for these kinds of races. But we should be able to make up enough in the corners that it won't be a problem anyway. But we'll see how it goes as we embark on the second lap. And we're already gaining some good time on the third place car as we work our way through this little S section onto the next straight. We've got a little bit of a run, probably not enough to do anything just yet unless we go full send down the inside. We're not going to go for that. We're going to go around the outside instead, and we'll get the move done there as we now peek to the inside, and we'll make that move stick nicely. And yeah, slowly getting used to this layout. It's quite tight through that section actually, even in relatively slow cars like this. But we've got the leader in sight, and we've made a bit of a mess of that, but we've managed to catch it and get things back under control. So well, I was going to say in the slipstream, I don't think you're going to get too much in these cars from the race leader though. But we're close, and we're probably going to make a move into turn 1 with the extra speed we can carry through these corners. I think we should be able to get the move done there as we're on the horn trying to close the gap, but they've got a bit more straight line speed. We're going to have a look to the outside into turn 1, switch it back on the exit, power down, and we should be able to get this done. They get pretty good drive traction off the exit though, and we're not able to pull alongside, so we're going to have to stay behind for a little bit longer and try and make this move somewhere later in the lap. Now we'll make the move down the inside, and we'll chuck it in there, bounce over the curb a little bit, and move ourselves up into the race lead. And that was the end of that. Another relatively easy race as we weave our way to the line, and yeah, we'll take the victory here at the Sunday Cup, the FF Challenge, Japanese FF Challenge at 450 here at Sardinia. So yeah, not really much to say on that. It's yet another Civic. We've got a few, and yeah, it's actually got a decent amount of horsepower, which is nice. But anyway, today's menu book is the complete opposite end of the car spectrum, because we're looking at Group C cars. Congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes your Group C collection. Once you've collected your present, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. And there we go, 3 very iconic cars from the history of Le Mans, and collection Group C complete, and 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles. Now, let's see what we can learn about these cars. This is a collection that splendidly conveys the passion of 20th century endurance racing. Motorsport has always been characterized by long-distance races for 2-seater machines. But with the oil crisis of the 1970s, there emerged calls to restrict fuel consumption in competitive racing. Group C cars were thus introduced in 1982 as a prototype for a new era. Ultimately, the sport became a competitive ground for the world's automakers to test out new technologies, giving birth to legendary cars and dramatic episodes of historic importance. Let's start with the Porsche 962C, the endurance champion's successor to the famous 956. From 1985 to 1994, this car claimed a vast number of wins, making it the most iconic car of the category. Of course, Porsche was not without its rivals, such as the mighty Mercedes-Benz. Debuted in 1988, the Sauber Mercedes C9 marked the Stuttgart Giants' comeback after a 33-year hiatus. The following year, in '89, it tore up the track at Le Mans with an incredible 1-2 finish. But at Le Mans in 1991, it was a Japanese automaker that penned a heart-stirring tale for the ages. This was the year Mazda's singular 787B became the first rotary engine car to claim an overall victory at the event. A first for Japan, and for Mazda's unique technology, the win was an inspiration for the world. What would today's hypercars and LMPs be without these legendary Group C machines? Well, there we have it. A little bit of Le Mans history there. What an awesome bunch of cars. But anyway, let us check out our roulette ticket after that and see what we get. Like I said, 6-star ticket, so hopefully we'll get something decent out of this. And we've got some big money on offer. We've got a couple of cars as well. And what is that? That is an Aston Martin of some description. DBR9 GT1. That's relatively expensive, if I recall correctly. I do already have every car in the game, so no new car is too exciting. 800,000 though, that's not bad. But anyway, that's that. So let us move on to the next race. And for that, we will be driving this thing. This is the Gran Turismo F3500A, I believe it's called. Catchy name, I know. But basically what this is meant to be a representation of 1990s Formula 1 without replicating a specific car. It actually has customizable front and rear wings and side pods, which is pretty cool. But instead of actually doing a race, you know, a preset race in this car, because none was added specifically for this, I decided instead to just set up a custom grid of some fast cars, some cars that were added in this update, and just a few other things. So this is going to be a bit of a weird one, but yeah, I just wanted to test this car out in a bit of a silly way. But anyway, we've got the new Toyota there. We're going to make our way past. It's already fallen into last position. That's how slow it is. But yeah, we've got a bunch of other stuff in this race. We've got the Ford Roadster, which has got a livery on it, which is for a race I'm doing tonight, actually. But anyway, we've got the DeLorean with the engine swap. There's the Civic, the new Civic, that's got an engine swap in it as well. Yeah, we've got some old cars. We've got the Jeep, as we have to slam the brakes on not to run into the back of the Jeep. Imagine turning up to Le Mans in this thing. That's pretty bold. But anyway, we've got a go-kart. Unfortunately, when you drive the go-kart yourself, you can't make a custom grid of cars. It has to be a full go-kart race as we snake our way past the Afila there. But yeah, we got all sorts going on in this race, so we'll see how quickly we can zoom through the field with our Formula 1 car. Essentially, we've got the Suzuki Escudo in front of us. Yeah, this is chaos. But to actually talk about this car, it is very quick. It's the second car in Gran Turismo to try and replicate Formula 1 without actually being an F1 car, because there are of course F1 cars as well, such as the McLaren we just overtook. So this is, I guess, slightly newer. If this is meant to be 90s, that McLaren's 88. but they're not. It's not too much of a departure, I suppose. In looks, it's a bit more aerodynamically advanced. But yeah, very, very quick, this car. I did put another one in the field just to get a reference point versus the AI. But of course, because I was going so slow at the start, it kind of messed with the rubber banding a bit. But anyway, a lot of grip. You can see I was testing that out on the straight, and it has so much downforce, it just grips on the straights. So a lot of confidence in high-speed corners, naturally with that, which is very, very cool. But yeah, if you're wondering about the color, by the way, it comes in, I think, 13 different colors. I just picked the one that had the number 8 on it. They're numbered 1 to 13. But anyway, we're zooming on through the field. We're up into 3rd position, just getting past the Super Formula car there. So yeah, we've blazed our way past that thing, and that car's fast too. The top speed maybe isn't great, but in corners it's incredible. So yeah, the fact we've just blown that thing out of the water shows how quick this car is. Yeah, it's very good, very fun to drive, and very easy, as I've found out, to overstep the mark as well. You have to be a little bit careful, especially when it comes to curbs and things, that you don't trip over. So we'll see that at some point, I'm sure. But for now, we're blazing on through the field. We've got the Tomahawk S, the slowest of the Tomahawk variants, and the only one that can really reasonably compete with other cars that aren't just other Tomahawks. But yeah, we're going to go blazing past that thing in a moment's time and move ourselves up into 2nd position with only the other 3500 A, whatever it is, in front of us. There is also in Gran Turismo already the what was it called? F1500 TA, I believe it's called, which is meant to represent 1980s Formula 1. Of course, we've also got the McLaren MP44, as well as the Honda RA272 from the 60s, and the Mercedes. Oh, that's a spin, and that's what I mean about having to be careful on the curbs. And once you get that little fishtail going, it's very hard to stop. It's also got a rubbish turning circle at low speed. But yeah, like I said, got that Mercedes from the 50s as well. So yeah, we've got a decent variety of fairly classic F1 cars, 2 not real, 3 real cars. So yeah, that and a few other open wheelers, of course, as well, such as the Super Formula cars. But anyway, as we continue to race on, we'll see if we can get back on terms with the 2 cars in front of us, because we've dropped a little way behind. We'll see what we can do though, as we're actually going to stay on board here for a little bit longer along this next straight, because around this point I managed to get myself a little bit distracted. I can't actually remember why. But anyway, I think, oh, that's why I was looking back, and then I completely missed the braking point. So yeah, that happened. Saved it, and then tripped over on that curb. And that shows just how easy it is. Just crossing over that curb, getting back onto the track, and it sent us into a spin. So yeah, it's very curb sensitive. This car, you have to be very, very careful with that, but other than that, it's very, very fun to drive, and sends plenty of sparks flying out the back, as you can see there along the straight. But anyway, we're slowly chipping away at the gap to the Tomahawk, and I was trying to look, because I noticed every time I look back, there's sparks there, and the car stops sparking the moment I look backwards. So I was trying to test that theory out, if that was actually happening or if it was just a coincidence. But anyway, as we head into Indianapolis, big old lunge down the inside, 2-for-1 deal on overtakes at Indianapolis, and we'll take that and run away, because yeah, we've moved ourselves into the race lead now. So yeah, only took us 2 laps to get there. And we're just going to ride on board for a bit, see what things are like from this perspective. You feel very low to the ground, I have to say, and the actual interior of the car feels quite high, I think. So yeah, you feel very, very quick, is basically what I'm saying here, when you're using this perspective. But it is fun. But yeah, I've never been as good with the in-car cameras. Thankfully, no halo to get in the way in this one, though we do have that funny little aerial, I suppose it is, on the front. But either way, we've managed to survive the final sector through the Porsche curves, and yeah, begin the final lap of the race. But before we get to the end of the race, I just want to show off some of the chaos from the start of the race. The other F1 car goes blazing off into the distance, and then everyone else, no one's in the correct, speed order on the start line, and the poor Toyota drops to the back almost immediately. Initially, I actually had an ambulance in this race, but it was way too slow, even for this. But anyway, yeah, we're just following the field through turn 1 as the leaders almost at Tetra Rouge. They had that much of an advantage, and the Super Formula car not too far behind, but they had a much less interrupted run and lost a lot of time, so it does show just how quick it is. That car there is the next car we'll be driving, the Hyundai Ioniq. Not really sure what it is, to be honest, but we'll be driving that next. And yeah, you can see some of the other cars making their way through the field as we go on board, with the Honda showing some good straight line speed. That's not the Honda, that's the McLaren. Well, it is a McLaren Honda. But anyway, the Tomahawk coming through along the straight as you would expect. And yeah, of course, some of the other cars showcasing their speed as well. The Suzuki Escudo. This is a crazy field of cars, I have to say. Like, this is just this is why I love Gran Turismo 7. You can't just do this in a lot of racing games, not to this level. So yeah, anyway, this is my daily dose of chaos. But yeah, we scroll through the field. The Jeep is actually not doing too badly. It might have the engine swap. There's the engine swap DeLorean, a couple of the old cars there, and yeah, at the back of the field, that's the engine swap Civic ahead of the go-kart. I mean, even that's just ridiculous. The non-engine swap Civic a little bit slower, of course. The Firebird ahead of the Roadster, and right at the back, the poor little Toyota, not going so good. But anyway, we go on board. This is the DeLorean along the next straight, showing some good straight line speed. This is the onboard with the go-kart a little bit later on, getting nice and close to the back of the Roadster, and this is just terrifying. Like, imagine driving this thing when you've got the Ford Roadster in front, you've got a Firebird behind with plenty of straight line speed, and it's gaining and gaining. But I think the go-kart might just have enough. Here's the onboard with the Firebird, and you can see that gap's closing. This is a stock Firebird, by the way, not a Trans Am tuned one. That was a thing actually recently. 5 different Firebirds were added to the used car dealership, all the different ones, as we, this is a replay of us going flying off there at the second chicane. But yeah, nice little flick spin to get us going. But yeah, 5 different Firebirds, all with the bird on the bonnet, because not all the different colours come with the bird. Yeah, they were all added to the used car dealership at the same time, which is cool. I appreciate that. So I picked up all of those, and yeah, threw one of them in this race. And yeah, it didn't do so good because it was completely stock. But anyway, that's the end of this race. We bring it to the line, and yeah, that is a victory for us in the new car. There was actually a special event for this car, a high speed ring. It featured a full field of these, but I don't know, that race just wasn't, I don't know, wasn't as fun. So anyway, this thing is the Hyundai Ioniq, and I'm going to hand over to live commentary me to re-record this race because, as before, I lost the original footage. By the way, this also happened. Alrighty then, so here we are. And the reason I wanted to actually re-record this is because it was pointed out to me that the Hyundai Ioniq has some pretty cool aero bits. Maybe not so much on the front, back, and sides, but it has this monstrosity for a rear wing. Goodness me, that is massive. So we'll grab a lot anyway, just because. Yeah, that is one big rear wing. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some pretty crazy downforce from that, and have a good time in this race we need to do in this car. I might as well go through and do the lot of all this GZ Auto upgrades and bits and pieces, tow hooks, bonnet pins, all the stuff to turn it into a racing car. Roll cage as well, we'll put that in, and headlights, we're not going to need those, we're not racing at night, but we'll put them in anyway. Number plate can stay the same, and that's it. And just while we're on the topic, actually, I'm going to get back into this Toyota for a second, because this car also has some pretty fancy aero upgrades. Once the picture actually loads, there we go. Can put a very big scoopy thingy, front splitter on the front, and once again we'll go through the lot. Back's nothing too crazy, but you do get to pretty big rear wing options as well. Nothing as crazy as the other car, as the Hyundai, but yeah, pretty crazy for a car like this nonetheless. And since I've done those ones, I might as well show off the different wing options and stuff for this whatever you call it, 3500A. So yeah, you've got these three different designs. For the front wing, I had this slightly higher nosed one on mine, and then there's three different options for the side as well. I also had the middle one there on the side, and then different options for the rear wing as well, whether you want these vertical things and squarer sides, or the more shaped sides and the horizontal things. Yeah, I'm very good at talking aerodynamics, as you can tell. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. And I suppose for that was weird. Due diligence, we might as well go through the aero options for the Civic as well. I'm actually not 100% sure if these are anything exciting, to be honest. So yeah, nothing too crazy going on in the front or the sides or the back, really. Rear wings, nothing important going on there. Just little lip sort of ones. Okay, nothing as crazy as the other cars. But anyway, back in the Hyundai Ioniq, it's an electric car, so I mean, it's not a good start. When I did this race the first time, I opted to add weight to get it to the correct performance, because it is a little bit over with the soft tyres on. It does come on hard tyres to begin with, but with the downforce, we might be able to get away with running medium tyres, so that's what I'm hoping for. But this race is actually pretty hard. We are heading to Interlagos for this one. It's a World Touring Car 600 race, I believe, that we have to do. As you can see, I have won it before, being the second or third recording now of this race. So we'll see. So yeah, we've got our car right on the PP limit, so hopefully it will work out well for us. Look at that wing, that's ridiculous for this sort of car. Let's go then and see what we can do. We're on the hardest difficulty, so this could be a bit of a tricky race, but we'll see. This car's meant to have, by the way, a simulated exhaust note. Being an electric car, of course, it doesn't actually have an exhaust. So you can hear it there as I'm putting the power down. It doesn't sound like anything special, but yeah, it's there. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I suppose in terms of actually the car making noise, that's useful to have if you can hear it from the outside. I'm not sure if it's meant to be something heard from the outside or the inside as the driver, because obviously there's the whole safety concern of electric cars not making much noise. So I'm not sure whether it's meant to be a resolution to that or whether it's just something for the driver to enjoy. Wasn't really clear in the little story about it. It just said I had it. But anyway, that's that. And yeah, we'll see how this race goes. We've made a little bit of progress so far. We've got 5 laps, so we do have some time on our side, but the cars towards the front of the field in this race are very quick. I know this race well. I've done it many a times now, and I've struggled a lot with it, so we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we'll be able to grab the win. This is the first time doing it with the downforce package on the car though, so maybe that'll make things a bit easier, because I have been struggling in the corners generally. So we'll see. But anyway, we've passed a few cars on the first lap. We're up into P13. We need to average, I suppose, around 3-ish cars a lap, a bit more at the start of the race, because the cars towards the back of the field are slower. But anyway, let's see if we can send it on this GTR, and that's something I don't think I'd be able to do without the downforce on the car, so definitely helping the car slow down for the corners and carry a bit more mid-corner speed, because I've tried moves like that before and they usually end up with me going sailing off into the runoff area there and ending up in all sorts of awkward situations. So that's definitely an improvement as we continue to work our way through this race. Second lap of the race now, and yeah, we'll see if we can close into the next group of cars. They're just squabbling away a little bit, and that's allowed us to just close in by a few car lengths, but we're already kind of struggling to close into this group. We'll make the move down the inside. We might even go for the 2-for-1 into Bico de Pato, and we'll unfortunately miss out on one of the two. But anyway, well, you can see we're still struggling through the corners. This car is so heavy. I mean, it's 2 tons and it's an electric car, so it is to be expected. Maybe I should have favoured weight reduction actually over tyre upgrades, but we work with what we have, and we do have some okay straight line speed to make up for it, but that'll only get you so far when the track is as windy as this. But anyway, we'll grab P7 as we complete the second lap of the race, so 6 cars to go in front of us with 3 laps remaining in the race, but we've got a big air gap, and we've just lost that place now with just losing time in the corners compared to that car there. We'll see if we can switch it back onto the next straight though. We'll muscle our way back through. Thing is, and one thing I've definitely noticed having done this race so many times now, is that the further up the field you get, the faster everyone else goes, so it actually gets very hard to catch the final few cars. But anyway, we're up into P7 and about to make that P6 and possibly P5 into turn 1 if we can carry enough speed in. And I don't really know the braking point here. We'll send it in a little bit deep, and yeah, we'll have to take to the runoff there. We'll slither our way back on though, and we'll maintain P5. We might even be a little bit cheeky here and try and nab P4. Oops, hello. And we won't quite get there until the next corner probably. But yeah, with just under 2 laps to go, we have plenty of work left to do. As we're up into P4, going to make the move up into 3rd position very shortly. We're all over the back of the next car. They're doing a very good job of driving everywhere I want to be at the moment, but we'll make our way through around the outside. We can't take the apex, they're still there, and we'll have to get the move done through the next left-hander, which we will. I haven't been driving great in this race, to be fair. I could definitely be carrying more optimal speed through these corners. Unfortunately, I should say, it's only P3, but yeah, that's that car. You know what, I'm actually going to try putting the soft tyres on and adding weight, just to see if that is going to help me out at all. Oh, with the downforce. I actually can't add enough weight. Okay, this is a mess to tune. Rightio. Alright, let's try that. Extra 65 kilos, max downforce, and we're still on the medium tyres. See if that works for us. What we're lacking is mid-corner speed, so hopefully downforce can help us out in that regard. Hopefully it'll make the car a little bit more pointy, because the downforce on both ends of the car was quite low, so it wouldn't have been making a huge difference despite the massive rear wing which blocks the view behind completely. Here we go, good run, and we're going to be able to make this move down the inside. I feel like we're making okay progress this time. Might be driving a little bit better, talking a little bit less, to be honest. Just how it goes. Yeah, we're definitely going to take P12 earlier in this one, so yeah, this race is going better so far. But like I said, the higher you get up the field and the faster you ascend through the order, the faster the other cars seem to go, so it's not always helpful. Either way, as we made a little bit of a mess of the run onto the straight, we're still going to grab this GTR well before the corner this time, so it does show there's a difference, because we had to send it on this guy earlier, and we still send it, but from not as far back, I don't think, as we made an absolute mess of the line there, though he was defending, making it a little bit awkward. Either way, we're through. I should stop looking back, because I can't see anything anyway. Alright, big train of cars here. Let's see if I can pass this lot by the end of the lap. Big move down the inside, that didn't quite work. He moved across quite late there as I was aiming to send it up the inside of them. But either way, we're going to carry the speed around the outside to the inside of the next car. Hopefully, oh, big squeeze there, so much so that I beat the horn. That happens. Anyway, we're up into P8 now, and again we're going to grab P7 at a pretty similar spot to last time, maybe a touch earlier if I can stop making a mess of things here. Switch it back onto the straight. We had to very quickly switch to the outside, then I was trying to switch it back, but they didn't end up using all the road on the exit, which again made things a little bit tricky for us. But either way, we're through and up into P7 now, so things going okay so far. We've caught cars on lap 3, which we didn't do previously, as we're tucked right in behind the Supra. Let's get the run around the outside here, and again we're going to get squeezed here, but we're gonna have to send it up the inside on the grass just about there, but we'll get through. Move ourselves up a couple of spots there, but yeah, I knew the squeeze was coming. Their line is so narrow there, but you can't really go to the outside. Big power on the exit though, and now we're going to potentially get the run around the outside here, and we could even end up as high as second place very soon, as we've already got the podium in sight. We'll make the move to the inside and move ourselves up into P3. P2 is right there, so this race is going well enough, I think. We need to pass 2 cars in 2 laps. Surely we can manage that. Here we go then. Big switchback coming right up, and oh well, never mind, I've messed that up. Let's see if we can still carry some good speed on the exit, switch back to the inside, and we should be able to get this done. So up into second position, just the race leader to go. Let's see if we can actually pull it up here before I get too excited. Nope, straight off the road. That's alright though, we'll just use the runoff here, and oh, that was very tight. The fight goes on as we're now on the outside into the next right-hander. We'll try and keep it here around the outside, try and keep the rolling speed up as much as we can. Don't trip up on that curb. This car is not too bad with curbs, but it can get a bit nasty, and you can see what I mean about the cars getting faster, because I mean, we caught up to this guy and now he's not going to leave me alone. We'll squeeze him out there, and we'll make the move up into P2. We might still be able to make something work here. Oh wow, that was awful. That might have thrown it away. Let's see. We've still got a decent run. This was going to be our best overtaking opportunity into turn 4, but I don't think we've got the run. Let's see what we can do. Oh, not close enough. I tried. I hit the brakes as late as I dared there. Yeah, you can see I'm struggling already to keep up. The only way I could do it is to try and take the best lines I possibly can, and that certainly wasn't it. A bit too slow and late on the apex there. Here we go though. Here comes the squeeze. We're gonna send it. Nah, overcooked it. Overcooked it. Bugger. We're not even gonna get P2 now. I had to go for it because if I didn't, they were going to get away through this corner. Ah, well. It's going to be P3. Brakes on this car are just rubbish, so yeah, I couldn't make it. Well, couldn't make a move like that, unfortunately. I know I can do it. Let's try one more time. 3-star ticket. I'm not horribly concerned about that. One more go then. See what we can do. I think this is the right formula though. Maximum downforce. Little bit of weight added on the medium tyres. The car feels pretty good like this. I know what I need to do. I just need to put it all into action. Oh, we're going to run out wide here. Very wide. Not ideal. It's alright though. Don't think that's going to make or break this race for us. Let's be a little bit more aggressive and just sneak our way through here. Another good run here down the inside. And it's a relatively easy pass there. Going okay for time so far in terms of positions. Around the outside we go. Oh, I've buggered that up big time. Oh. Okay, no passing the GTR on the first lap this time. It's alright though, relatively, we're only a second or two back, so I think we're still going to be okay. Oh dear. Hello. Well, that works. We're just going to muscle our way through here and move ourselves up another position. That was a good Del Lago. So we've got ourselves right on the back of this pack now, and in fact we're going to make this overtake a little bit earlier than last. In fact, these couple of overtakes, we might even get all three by the time we head into the next right-hander. Excuse me. Down the inside we go. Not quite. We're gonna lose out to the Subaru again. We've just been pinned from behind. Little bump. Squeezing through. Now down the inside. Oh, big squeeze there. 3 wide, but we're through. And once again, we're going to pass Mr. Solis at the end of lap 2. He throws the block. We'll switch it back this time, get it nice and tight on the inside line. He still refuses to use all the meterage on the outside, but we're through and up into P7. Here we go, around the outside, and not quite able to get the Supra. This is so much like the second attempt. Now we'll make the move down the inside. Big squeeze is on. We'll just fight our way through there, force it, force the issue. Hopefully we can clear these two by the end of the lap. That would be ideal. Big run, and we're a little bit aggressive through the middle there, but oops, sorry about that. We're up into P3, 3 cars to overtake in 2 laps, so a slightly worse situation than last time. But the leader's not too far up the road, so I think we still might just be okay. Right, the leaders are very close, so hopefully they start fighting away soon. I was as close as I dared go for the lunge down the inside, but now we've got the proximity to do that. Up into third position, 2 cars left in front of us. Surprisingly, it does just get the slightest bit twitchy when you go full power on the exit. It's not enough to even worry about spinning the car, but yeah, it's just the slightest little bit of twitch. But anyway, we're gonna, I thought we were gonna go 3 wide for the race lead there. Unfortunately, we couldn't get there in time to make that excitement happen. But anyway, we send it up the inside. Can't get a stop though because this car has no brakes. And, almost clobbered the inside wall there. And we'll race on. Well, final lap. And this is the fight for the lead. I don't know what to do. I'm struggling to keep up. I'm quicker than the leader in a straight line, but not quicker than second place, so we need to clear them as soon as possible. Oh wow, they made that very awkward. And they're switching it back. I need to pass them at the final corner and get a run on the race leader. There's only one way I can possibly do this if this works. Switch it back. Big run. Now we wait. I don't think it's going to be enough, but we'll see. In the slipstream of Miyazono. It's going to be close, actually. It's going to be very close. Here we go then to the line. We might just have it. Right to the line. Side by side we go. And that is victory. Oh my goodness. I don't care if I had to... Oh wow. Where did he come from? Far out. 3/10 across a lot of us. Rightio. Well, had to cheese it a little bit, but I don't care. That is a tough race. Rightio. 799,997. Anyway, well, that is going to bring this one to a close. Let's spin this roulette ticket to finish this one off. Only 3 stars today, but no big deal. Let's see what we got. Not a lot of good options there, to be honest. It's probably just going to be, yep, it's going to be the smallest pile of money. That 5k, I think. Yep. Oh well, that ruins our perfect little number we had going for a moment there. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one, so I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.